Hello, and welcome to another episode of O Faces. We are your host, Mr. and Mrs. Mocha, also known as...
Oh, Poison Ginger and Xavier Blacking.
Whew.
I never know what you're going to do. You switch things up on me and then don't tell me most of the time.
Yeah, I told you before, you already knew.
You told me one time, and I was higher than Ballsack on that episode.
That is true, you were pretty funny.
Doesn't count.
Well, I'm actually excited about this. This is the Splash Mocha recap. We did Splash Mocha in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That just happened.
Last week, we just came back Sunday.
Just came back and it was exciting. How was your experience?
Let's talk about yours first. Let's leave me out. Let's leave me last.
Leave you last? You can't be last. You're always first. What are you talking about?
It was good. It was nice to be back out in the peeps. In the lifestyle peeps, because I haven't done that this year. Well, much this year. Mm-hmm. Because of all my medical crap. But I'm back and feeling better. I did, a few things while we were there. But not a lot. It's not like, that's what's up. My story is like not super awesome. I did see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, and that was awesome. I wore some really hot shit while we were there.
You did.
I had like stripper clothes, which is like pretty normal, but I wasn't naked. Everyone's disappointed, I know. For Mr. Mocha's entertainment, I did give a guy like 20 or 30 good strokes so he could perv out on me a little bit. It was good.
I like perving out on you. It's fun.
We walked into like a gang, well, it wasn't like a gangbang room. It was like someone's room that was having a gangbang, which was awkward too because we normally do that.
Yeah.
But it was like people that we knew. And sorry in advance, I've lost my voice from screaming all weekend. It's sad to say it wasn't from sucking dicks. But I mean, it was nice. We went into this room that they were doing a gangbang in. There's a guy in there that had a huge dick that was in the middle of the room. So I just, Mr. Mocha, can't even say her name, monitored me, sucking his dick, and then I rode him for a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely did more than 20 strokes. You took that thing for a ride.
I did. I was trying to give you a good show.
I appreciate it.
I know you missed the old hoe. You missed the old slutty Miss Mocha.
Hey, listen.
But that was just like, I was just dipping my toes back in. I felt like I was I was losing my virginity to the lifestyle again. So it was nice.
Yeah. I mean, you went in there and took right to it. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I'm not good at like chit chat, so it either has to be like someone that's like really straightforward, because then I feel like I get really awkward because I'm like, what do I do with my hands?
Like, hey, you want to fuck? He was like, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty simple.
Yeah.
All the guys at Mocha are pretty simple like that. Then I went into the like reverse. They have like a reverse glory hole room, but on one side there it's like basically like some gynecologist tables, more or less. Not tables. What do you call them?
I mean,
what would you call them?
A sex bench, I guess.
It's not a bench though. It looks like a gynecologist table.
Well, I mean, a gynecologist table would look like something that's set up for you to get fucked in. I mean, if you ask me, but whatever you want to call it, it was
Did you connect
reverse
your phone to that? Huh? Did you connect your phone to that?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Sometimes Mr. Mocha forgets things without me.
So it was the reverse glory hole room. Mm-hmm. And you went in and definitely got right to it.
Sure. Well, no. I remember I told you I went in and started fluffing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I fluffed some guys so that they could fuck some women in the reverse glory hole. Yeah, and I've never done that before.
That's very nice of you.
Well, I couldn't use my pussy very often, so I was trying to use my mouth at least. I had to be good for something. And then, of course, Mr. Mocha took advantage of me a few times while we were there.
Hey, I mean, it was there, it was available, and I needed some of it.
You were... You were having plenty of. I think it's just because you get extra turned on after you fuck someone else.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have to say, like, this splash, I didn't do as much fucking as I usually would. I didn't. I think I did more talking to the couple, single guys, and the ladies, which is actually real cool. You know what I mean? Usually I'm so busy.
You can just say you kind of did that for my sake.
Well, sometimes, I know that you were just getting back in, so I wanted to make sure you were okay. So that was a thing. But I also enjoyed just the talking. I enjoyed being able to talk to people. I think I joined in to like 4 different seminars, and it was real cool. Just, the questions that people asked, the interaction, and I got more questions from couples, and the single guys got a lot of questions from single guys. But
the little like couple session was cool too. Like they did that was new to me. I don't know if it's something they've been doing, but it was just a seminar for just like newbies. Basically, your first Mocha, and basically like Q&A. It was cool.
Yeah, I think that one of the things. One of the big topics, with couples is always, how do we find the right kind of guy for us? And I think one of the things at this Mocha, I actually met a lot of couples who, in my opinion, they get it right, from the way they connect with the guy to, how they explain what they're looking for. And a big thing is just respect for the single guys, understand that it's hard to find a quality single guy. You can find swinging dicks anywhere, but finding the single guy that they're looking for, and, a good portion of the couples there, struggle with that. But meeting couples who actually, they've had success, they continue to have success, it was real cool also speaking to those couples.
It's definitely it revolves more around single males. Like, there's limited single females there, but it's more hot wife, like bull type thing, a bull type situation. But yeah, all the guys there are super, what do you call it? Super respectful. Sorry, I can't think.
Yeah, I think the guys there are respectful. And I think a lot of the newer guys or the guys who are inexperienced, shout out to Craig on here. Craig is one of the guys who's a good resource for a lot of the new guys. They've learned to ask him questions, and even in the meeting, with the guys, Craig said a lot of really good stuff about the way he approaches couples, the way he speaks to couples, the way he deals with couples. And especially in the Splash Mocha environment where, you're at basically a interracial hot wife convention. It's no longer just a hotel party. It's a convention now. And,
yeah, and there's some people there that just are like, there to like make connections. They're not necessarily, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fucking happening, but there are some couples that come not like just looking for a connection with a single guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that was something I also found really interesting is, talking to some of the couples, they were saying, hey, we want to play, but we're looking for, a single guy to connect with for the weekend. And at one of the seminars, I was talking to a couple, and I said, I'll be honest with you, we've only got a few days here, so I am not necessarily a person that's going to come in and spend an entire weekend with one couple. That's something that I feel that, we do if we meet and, we plant a seed, we like each other, and hey, we can hook up and actually, hang out and get to know each other better, outside of this event. But, during an event where, you have, lots of people who want to play, I'm looking to play. Mm-hmm. So I think that was one of the things that I found really interesting. The couples who were saying, hey, we're just really looking for one guy, maybe 2 for the whole weekend. And
well, I think there's more like poly couples there, though. You know, there are some poly couples there that just want to make, like I said, want to make one connection. You know, so
yeah. And another thing that, you know, I had a conversation with, you know, a couple of the guys, they're saying, hey, there's this female that I want to play with, you know, how do I get her to play with me? And I'm like, well, first things first, buddy, you got to realize, you know, you're no one's obligated to give you pussy. It doesn't work like that. And it still starts with a conversation. You know, you have to have a conversation. And at Mocha, I mean, Mocha is by far the best hotel event lifestyle convention we've ever been to. And so, you know, the environment is set up for you to be successful, but you still have to speak. You know, walking up to somebody saying you want to fuck, that doesn't work anywhere. You know, so, you know, the basic, hi, how are you? My name is, you know, chat a little bit. And then I recommended that you make your intentions known. You know, once you got past the initial introduction, you know, I find your wife really attractive. And if you're interested, I'd love to spend time with you guys, or I'd love to play with you guys. And I recommend it to the guys, once you've put it out there, pay attention, because most people are too nice to go, oh, no, I don't want to have sex with you. You know, and so I had a long conversation with one of the guys about body language, you know, looking at the husband's response, the wife's response, and then don't be a stalker. You know, once you've done that, it's okay.
But I mean, that's at any event. That's not just Splash Mocha. Don't be a stalker in general, because we've had some pretty creepy. Well, I can't say that. Just lifestyle in general, we've had a lot of creepy males.
Yeah.
And they actually like changed my perspective.
Yeah.
Splash Mocha changed my perspective about that.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, you'll have guys who are not disrespectful at all, but they just don't know how to read the room. And here's the thing. That applies to couples and single ladies as well. You know, I literally had, you know, a few couples that, you know, were very polite, very kind. And, you know, I had a conversation. The husband said, hey, my wife really likes you. You know, thank you very much. You know, but I was just not attracted to the couple. But, you know, we still had a good conversation. But, you know, like I've said before, when I'm attracted to somebody, like if you're wondering after we've had a conversation, then I'm probably not attracted to you, because I'm very direct, you know, but I'm polite to everyone. And that was one of the things that, you know, having a conversation with a few of the couples where it was like, hey, it's important for you also to read the room, you know, because...
Yeah, because there are some, not necessarily just at Mocha, but in general, there are a lot of couples that feel like they're just entitled to all the dicks.
Yes, yes.
And that's not necessarily the case. We've said it like 1,000 times. You're not like everybody's cup of tea, and just take that with a grain of salt, because there's plenty of other people that may be into whatever you're into.
Yes, yes.
And if you're too aggressive, that's automatically a turnoff for like a lot of people, unless some people like aggressive. I don't know, but maybe that's something you discuss before you like go all wild, you know?
And I will say, I didn't meet aggressive guys. I saw assertive guys who were just a little too assertive. But then here's the funny thing. I spoke to multiple couples who said, I wish the guys were more assertive. So it's kind of like, you know, as a single guy, that's where paying attention to cues come in, because some couples want you to be a little more assertive. Some couples want you to be a little less assertive. So it's kind of trying to find the happy median.
But I've also had to say, too, like aloud, that as like wild and crazy as I am, I like, you know how I am at hotel events or just bigger events. I've had to say, like, the likelihood of you playing with me there is going to be less than you coming to like my house or us being in a smaller environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like the room where they were doing the gangbang. I have, like, you know, that it's a smaller environment for me, and you know how my brain fires on like 100 when there's too many people around, because A, I don't want to be rude to anybody, and I'm not good at that. Yeah. And B, it's just easier for me because I can't say that I have like any trust issues, but I feel safer in a smaller environment versus
Yeah, one of our friends she's hey, take 5 room all day. You know, I want to go down there. I want all the dicks. I want all the smoke. So
Pedro the Punisher says it's definitely a fine line. Agreed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that comes with experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one of the seminars, one of the things that I stressed to the couples was it takes experience. You know, because you have a lot of people, you know, it may take a day or two for somebody to build up their courage, or take a day or two for you to kind of get it, you know. But once you kind of get the groove, you're good. And I highly recommend to the guys, speak to the experienced guys. The experienced guys, you know, they've done all the tripping and falling that you don't have to do. And that's where I will say that there were several guys who I spoke to who, you know, were honest about the fact that, hey, I'm nervous, you know, I'm not quite sure what to say. Hey, I think this couple liked me, but, you know, I wasn't quite sure how to make the move. And it's good for that to happen, because that's one of the things that Splash Mocha stresses, is that you lean on the people around you to make your experience better. And I think I saw a lot of that at this event, which was something. And I saw it from couples, I saw it from single guys, you know, where they were asking questions, where I think because I did so much talking, a lot of people were willing to kind of be vulnerable and say, hey, what do you recommend? You know, how should we go about it? And that, like I said, that's one of the big things that, you know, when the staff talks to the single males before the event, they tell them, lean on the guy next to you because he's going to help you. And I think I saw a lot of that. So that was really, that to me was really cool.
I think I'm good at like listening also, but Mr. Mocha is more patient, I guess. Is that a good description? You're more patient than I am. He's more willing to give out a lot. Like, I'm willing to talk to everyone and do whatever, but if we don't have the same dynamic, I don't shy away from that, but I also don't want to give someone advice that I have no fucking idea about, if that makes sense. And Mr. Mocha has more knowledge. He is smarter than me in that area only.
Hey, 1 point to Mr. Mocha. 1 point to Mr. Mocha.
Mr. Mocha. But yeah, I mean, I guess that, you know, because there's a lot of dynamics there. There's, you know, like cuckolding and just hot wife couples, vixens, stag and vixen. Like, there's a lot of different dynamics, and Mr. Mocha has a lot more experience in all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just because, once again, I've been in it since I was 23 years old.
You
and
fucking
so,
whore.
Yes, I am. And so that was one of the things that, you know, one of the guys was saying, you know, hey, you know, how is it that how are you comfortable? And it's like, dude, I have fallen on my face so many fucking times, but, you know, the difference is when you make a mistake, you learn from it, you know, and, you know, you get honest feedback. I think that, especially once you start talking to couples, mm-hmm. and if you're actually listening to them, oftentimes they will tell you what they like, what they don't like, and what they're looking for. So I think when you're talking to a couple, if they're telling you the things they like, instead of just thinking with your dick, you know, you listen to what they're saying, and you listen and see if you are what they like, or if you're not their type.
The Pedro guy, Pedro the Punisher, sorry, I don't want to say it wrong. I don't have my street voice on today, so I can't say it right. I'm just kidding. Hot wives talk, the single and solo men need to get more comfortable doing the same. I agree, but if you're just a single guy with to me, it's 2 against 1. So it's easy for me to talk when Mr. Mocha's around. Easier for me to talk when Mr. Mocha's around because I have my security blanket. I'm not saying that the single guys need a security blanket, but if you have that one guy, like, Ashley that's gonna, hey, this is my friend so and so or whatever, or Mr. Mocha that says, hey, this is my friend, it's easier to open that door. But that event is fun, but it can be overwhelming if it's your first time, or you're just maybe an introvert. If you're like, you like to fuck but you're an introvert, that's okay. But
yeah, Mocha's like Disney World if you've never been.
Yeah.
Okay. You, all the things that you were hoping to see and you wanted to see, you get there and you're like a deer in the headlights, like, holy shit, this is real. Like, it's all there. The environment, the energy, the people, the openness, the welcoming. So if you've never been in that environment, sometimes, one of the couple said, I get here, we're brand new, and it seems like all of these people here are friends and their family. And I'm like, that's the culture, and one thing I told them is, they were sitting on the outside of they were sitting on the outskirts of everything. And I said, at this event, if you just go have a seat in the middle, people are going to start talking to you. Couples are going to talk to you. They're going to welcome you. They're going to invite you in, so, that's why to me, Mocha can be overwhelming, as opposed to if you've ever been to a shitty hotel party, it's not overwhelming. Mm-hmm. It's underwhelming. You walk in and it's like, man, this is nothing like I expected. So it's like you expected to go to Disneyland and you wound up, at the county fair.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, John said he missed us and he hates that we didn't make it. We missed you too, and sad you didn't make it. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. You missed a good time.
Yeah, you did indeed.
You missed my not so comeback. You missed my 50% comeback. I think for Mocha, New Year's Mocha, I'll be at like 80%.
You'll be closer to the old wild animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I just have to practice a lot before then.
Yeah, I will say what Pedro said is, like, Pedro is probably more experienced. So since Pedro is more experienced, Pedro probably has the ability to speak to a couple, and they know how to make the couple comfortable. He knows how to help guide a conversation, and he knows how to create the exchange of ideas and start a flow of communication. But, one of the things that we talked about in one of the seminars, Mikey and I, it's a place that we always disagree on, because I always feel like, the couple has the responsibility or for the explaining part. And I say this because from my standpoint, the most important thing to me, if I'm going to bring a guy to play with my wife, is that she has a good time. So if I leave it to him to play the guessing game, then the problem that we're going to encounter is every guy doesn't have that experience. Mm-hmm. Because let's just be honest, there's plenty of attractive guys and cool guys and good guys who don't have the experience. So they're kind of looking for you as the couple to show them, like, hey, what am I supposed to do? And that was one of the things we talked about. There were multiple couples who are kind of, well, I'm going to sit back and let the guy figure it out. But those are the same couples who are constantly saying, why can't, why
I didn't play with anybody and blah,
exactly.
blah, 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 blah. But, like, you have to be, like, I guess Mr. Mocha's probably trying to say, just be as engaging as you want someone else to be.
Exactly.
Like, why, what's going to happen? Like, everyone is not going to chase you, sadly, because all of the guys at that event are, it's not that they won't chase you, but there has to be an introduction first for them to see even what you like, because there's a lot of different personalities there, hot wife personalities or any type of personalities. There's the more dominant personalities. There's me. I don't know what I called myself. I
mean, you're
social, I guess.
You're very social. I mean, sexually submissive, but in the crowd, you're usually a wild animal. So there's been guys who think that you're going to be sexually dominant, and then you get in the bedroom and you're like, Oh, it's your turn to take over.
Surprise, motherfucker.
But I also tell guys, like, don't let the outgoing personality and the sarcasm fool you. In the bedroom, this is what she's looking for. You know, and there's a big thing that people at Mocha must understand. The Mocha, the Splash Mocha, the way Splash Mocha, when it comes to the guys are really encouraged to make sure that they make people comfortable. That being said, even guys who are naturally like very assertive outside of Mocha are going to make sure that they're not making people uncomfortable. And so oftentimes that means, because we met a couple who was really cool, but both of them just kind of had the resting, like the guy had the resting dick face and the wife had the resting bitch face. And the conversation was like, it's strange that guys don't come and talk to me. My wife is attractive. Yes, she's attractive, but if I look over at you and you look like you... If
you walk around like Mr. Mocha, like a security guard,
yes.
then, you know, there's not a lot of people that are going to talk to you.
You know, you're not going to be approachable. And so, you know, keep in mind, you know, guys don't like rejection either. You know, and if I'm looking at, you know, two couples, you know, two beautiful wives, and one smiling and one looks like she doesn't want to be there, that's a no-brainer. And, you know, they were saying, oh, no, you know, we're happy to be here. We're excited to be here, but no one's approaching. And I'm like, well, you know.
You look scary.
Yeah. I mean, I approached you because I represent, I'm one of the brand representatives. So if I see you sitting over in the corner, I'm going to come up and say, hi, how are you? Welcome to Splash Mocha. Is this your first time? Blah, 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 blah.
You remember that old rap song, I Ain't Never Scared?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I ain't scared.
That's Mr. Mocha.
Yeah.
Scarlett says, what Mr. Mocha said is so true. The experience of Mocha is above and beyond any expectations or imagining. It can be overwhelming, but that experience is much bigger than being underwhelmed. Well said. Well said. And Scarlett actually saved me on, we did a Dirty Girls, those will be coming out soon, but we did a Dirty Girls podcast on while we were at Mocha. We couldn't do it live because we can't do live stuff from there. But she saved me because I was hella nervous because I normally have my other two Dirty Girls there. So she was my Dirty Girl for the weekend.
Yeah. And I think I also had I had one of my best conversations with Scarlett, because Scarlett is a unicorn, and she's a real unicorn. And, you know, we had this conversation in one of the meetings where I said, you know, unicorns are very rare. There's lots of single women in lifestyle, but a single female who's respectful, who's not entitled, you know, who's got a good personality, who brings good energy, that's really hard to find. And she's one of the few. And she's very, very just open to whatever. She's friendly to everybody. She makes you comfortable. She makes you happy. Yeah, she does. She's just like, hey, girl, let's do this. Oh, let me introduce you to my friend. Oh, this guy has a really great dick. You should really talk to him. Like, you know, it's just good. She's waiting to talk. Hey, Scarlett.
Oh, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Mocha. So good to hear y'all's voices. I miss y'all already, man.
We miss you, too.
I can tell you that I miss you, but I needed to come home. I needed sleep so fucking bad.
Yes, you needed sleep and hydration and your pup.
Yeah.
Dick. Yeah.
Poor. He was so sad I wasn't home.
Oh, my God.
Don't worry about my life, Mr. Mocha, okay? You gave him just as much snuggles as I did.
Hey, don't be messing up my reputation on the podcast.
Facts. But, Scarlett, you really did save me. Thank you again for getting on, because you're always so, confident. And because I've been out of the game for a minute, you were just, it was a breath of fresh air during that little podcast. And I don't want to ruin the moment, but that podcast, when it comes out, it's going to be really good, because we actually made some people cry. We talked about body positivity. It was I actually had to not look at the girl that was in the room because I couldn't crack, I didn't want to cry on the podcast.
It all happens at Mocha. Like, you have these really connective, amazing, like, embracing experiences with the other tribe members there. And then 10 minutes later, you're on a dick and you're like, I'm just having every experience. Right now, every experience there is to have.
All the emotions at one time. Horny, hungry, sleepy, and crying.
Yes. Everything, everywhere, all at once, right? But it's so beautiful. And then you get back to your normal life and it's like nice. You're like, oh, but there isn't really anything that compares. And yeah, I loved that podcast. It was a pleasure. The Slut Sisters will always belong in the Dirty Girls Corner and vice versa. So it was a great show. I can't wait for your listeners to hear it.
We're the true OGs. We started it all.
The Dirty Dozen, baby.
Yeah.
2 years now.
Yeah.
That was the start of it. Oh, but it was a great party. I absolutely loved this past Mocha. The community, the play. We were playing in the playrooms. Everything was being utilized. Just the women just grew. They were just glowing. Brighter and brighter and brighter. I'd see a woman after a couple hours. I'm like, girl, you just had some really good dick, didn't you? She's like, yeah, man. And it was just awesome. That's exactly what I want to see at a Mocha. So Houston did good this year.
I agree, because I think I've been into the reverse glory hole room several times and it wasn't as crowded. Of course, I've been out of the game for a little bit, but it wasn't as crowded as what it was on Saturday. Like Saturday,
Saturday was busy.
Yeah, they were very busy, and I actually was a voyeur a little bit. I know everyone's gonna die when they hear that, but I was actually watching. I don't care to watch Mr. Mocha, but it was nice to watch a room full of orgy, because I always wanted to see, when I was in lifestyle, I wanted to be on the outside looking in. And, that was really, what I described to you, the first time I thought it was going to be when we walked into Trapeze.
Yeah.
It really was, a whole bunch of beautiful people just getting fucked everywhere. And everyone was just, it was live porn in Amsterdam. Everyone's staring, chatting about, this is not happening, but you're watching out of the side of your eye. So it was really cool.
Yeah. And, I'm surprised that Mrs. Mocha was a voyeur, because she's the only woman I know that'll fall asleep while I'm fucking somebody else. She's like, wait, am I in?
But,
no.
First of all, when you fucked 7 women, I was not asleep. I was there as your cheerleader. But when you're just fucking one person, what am I supposed to do?
Sit on my face.
That's super boring. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. Kidding. Well, ladies, now you know how bad my tongue game is. All the action is in my pants. My tongue is trash.
No, here's the thing. I can, do,
from my wife,
a threesome with Mr. Mocha anytime. If he asks me to, do a threesome, I'm fine with that. But, just sitting back and, watching him like he watches me is not the same. It doesn't do the same for me as what it does for him.
Yeah, I definitely, if I'm watching her fuck, I'm hard.
I mean, here's the thing. I get, jealous, but my pussy's wet, when you do it. Mm. But, I can't sit still that long. I'm trying to do laundry and sit still, and I can't do that.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
I just don't know what to do. Maybe I should practice, right?
I mean, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I mean, we just need to get us a couple more, crash test dummies, and we can keep working it out till you figure it out.
Get some hoes from out of town.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm sure there's plenty on this podcast here. Pedro also says that I'm the oddball. I usually approach the resting bitch face and resting dick face couples first. I enjoyed the challenge of getting to know them. Mr. Mocha should definitely talk, because
put Pedro on let Pedro talk.
Pedro, if you want to talk, you
Pedro
can wait.
I fucking like Pedro.
Wait, if you want to talk, just request, we'll let you come on and say some words. Mr. Mocha wants to talk to you if you can. If not, there's always next time.
Yeah, I like that. Mrs. Mocha knows I'm...
There he is. Oh. That was fast. Hold on. Oh, wait. I don't know what I did.
Pedro, you got to... Wait a second. Mrs. Mocha is a little technologically challenged.
Bullshit. I am not the technologically challenged person.
She don't know what to do with the buttons.
You're on, Pedro.
Hey, guys. How you doing tonight?
Welcome, Pedro.
And you got a sexy-ass voice. Hello, Pedro.
Thank you.
She a little rapey, Pedro. Be careful.
I'm fine.
But go ahead and shoot it with Pedro.
I always go after, the people that seem like they don't want to be there. because in my head, I'm like, I want to know, are you here for like to have fun, or are you just like testing the waters? You know, and a lot of times those couples are the most fun. You know, it's just you have to break down their walls and get to know them, and they're usually really experienced and they know exactly what they want. They just don't like the big crowd settings.
Well, and a lot of women, I think, too, are attracted to confidence. So the fact that you look, well, for me, I'll say me personally, I can't say everybody, but confidence turns me on a lot. So the fact
that's definitely a thing that I've been told several times over the years. You know, I'm the only one who approached them like all weekend.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I'm just a average guy, you know, like I'm 5'8" and got a dad bod, and you know, but I don't care because I'm there to have fun. And if someone's willing to give me a chance, I'm going to show them a good time, you know?
Listen, Pedro, I like how humble you are. That's nice. But, you know, the energy is not average, you know, and I think that's the thing that turns women on the most, because that was one of the conversations I had with several couples where it's like, okay, you know, I met the guy, he was attractive, but, you know, I don't feel like they didn't feel like they liked his energy. You know, when a guy comes up, and especially when you're at an event where you have a short period of time to really plant that seed and get someone excited, you know, I think that's the fun part, where you're able to meet a person, speak to them, you know, give her the mind fuck that she wants, you know, get her excited, get her turned on with the things that come out of your mouth. Because I will tell you, there are many, many, many attractive females that I've met that I saw from across the room, and my dick was hard, and I spoke to him for 30 seconds, and my dick was like, she's not the one. And I can see how that happens to females. So definitely the energy, the attitude, that is not average.
That their dick gets hard across the room?
No, my dick is hard. I mean, I'm hoping to get her nipples. You see what I deal with in my life, Pedro? You see what I got to deal with?
I got one just like that.
No, okay. Congratulations.
It's fiery. It's good. It keeps you on your toes.
It does. But, I mean, I've experienced the same thing. You know, like, I've seen somebody at an event, and you're like, oh, man, like, I have to go talk to her. And then you do, and it's just a complete waste of time, because either, like, your personalities don't match, or they just can't carry a conversation. And I don't want to be the only one talking. You know, like, I'm not a car salesman. I'm not there to sell my dick. Like,
I'm stealing that.
If we can't have a conversation and, you know, kind of bounce ideas and energy back and forth, then I'm out.
Yeah. And that's, dude, like, that was, like I said in the beginning, I spoke to so many couples, and that was, you know, one of the things that they were saying they were looking for, you know. And like I said before, the challenge that you have, the challenge that I think that you have a lot of couples who can't find the successful guys, or who can't successfully find the guy. You're going to be different because you have the experience to go pull information out, make people comfortable enough to speak. But that's experience. Unfortunately, at any party, anywhere you go to, it's very rare that, you know, more than 20% of the guys are experienced, and they understand
right.
that means the burden is really on the couple. And I always say the burden's on the husband to open the door for the guy. It's like, dude, give the guy a tip. You know, if you have the husband who's sitting there staring at you, you know, like he doesn't know where he is either, it's like, you know, you can step up and just, you know, help lead the conversation in the beginning, at least, because when I first approach a couple, I'm approaching him. I'm talking to her, but my body, I'm going to introduce myself to him. I'm talking about her until he gives me the green light to really interact with her. I'm waiting for his green light. And we had couples who said, oh, well, you know, I just let him talk to my wife. And the same couple says, well, if a guy tries to talk to my wife without saying something to me, I think is disrespectful. It's like, hey.
But how do you know that the husband's just, especially at that type of event, how do you not, I can't speak.
You
Jesus
assume it.
Christ. How do you know that the husband's not just more submissive, more of the submissive side, and she's the one that will just walk up and talk? How do you know the difference?
It's a primal thing. Even if he's submissive, if all of a sudden some guy starts slapping her, he's going to attack the guy, no matter how submissive he is.
I mean, we're not talking about that happening at Mocha.
No, I'm saying, I'm bringing back the primal part of being a man. As a man, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get approval from that other man to interact with his wife. It's not my job. It's not my job to walk up to a couple and determine if he's a submissive male or if she's in charge of the relationship. They have to let me know, and at that point, they have to give me the permission.
But you say have to. Like, I'm challenging you today. You say have to. But they don't have to. They may not say anything at all because it may, like I said, their dynamic may just be like they want to be chased. So we actually spoke to a couple on the way out. They said that the guy has to talk to her, and then they have to go on 20 dates, and then they might get a play date. Like, how many guys at Splash Mocha, let's just be honest, are willing to do that? So sometimes I think the couples that aren't getting approached also too, because I heard it a lot at Mocha, was that there are too many rules. I heard that several times from several different guys. Like, I like that, I like her, or I like the couple, but I don't want to do that because there's too many rules.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh wait, Craig's wanting to come on too.
But I will, and here's the thing. Like, Pedro, call me out if I'm wrong, but I always think this: if there's 20 couples in a room, from a single male standpoint, most of those couples, whether the husband is a cuck or not, he's going to expect you to at least start off by acknowledging that he's there. Because that is every man is his wife's protector, and people tend to forget that for 99.9% of the people, even in the cuckold community, this is not necessarily everyday life. This is kink. So if, just like every wife, if the guy is super attractive to her and he walks up and starts talking to her, that's great. But if the guy is unattractive to her, she's gonna be looking at him, and if he's a good husband, good cuck, he's gonna be trying to find a way to get her out of that situation. So that's why, to start off, to learn where I fit into this equation, I'm gonna first make sure I address that man.
Right, and the only deviation to that, which I'm sure you've experienced a couple times too. If it's a really strong cuck dynamic, the wife will come to you and do all the talking. Yep. They're very assertive, very, I know what I want, and he's just there to watch.
Yep.
But that's very rare. I mean, you should be going up and introducing yourself to the husband and, getting that green light. Whether it's just a simple, smile and introduction, or, the little head nod, hey, go ahead. You should be looking for something like that from the husband.
This guy, Pedro, send me a fucking DM, dude. You're going to be on all of my guy podcasts. I'm telling you this now.
So bad.
Guys,
did we just become best friends?
Just become. Just don't put your balls on my drum set, and we're good. Okay.
Don't teabag my drum set.
Craig, what up?
Hey, kind of going back to what you were saying about, finding what the couple is like, man, you can get a feel for people once you start to talk to them. There was several couples that I started to talk to, and you could get a feeling as to who was in what type of a relationship, whether it was a stag, vixen, cuckold, or whatever. Because if you're speaking with them, then you can feel if he kind of lays back more, then she's kind of in the lead, and you can kind of deviate how the conversation goes. But I think one thing that's special about Splash Mocha is, Damien. I'm sorry, Mr. Mocha. I know that in the men's meeting, what was kind of unique was when I think it was Tina said, how many guys here have been, how many new guys are there? And out of that entire room, there might have been 5 to 7 hands raised. There wasn't a lot of new gentlemen there, so, but I think the mixture of that plus, getting all the new guys acclimated to what is going on with Splash. But touching real fast on the couples that are waiting for people to kind of talk to them, so they don't have as much of a good time as some of the other couples. I remember years ago somebody said this couple is about this event is about the women, and those women those couples that kind of sit back and wait. There are some very, very aggressive couples and women at this party. Sit and wait. Unfortunately, a lot of times, you're going to be that couple that's stuck. And unfortunately, we do have people like Pedro that come up and will speak to those couples. But a lot of times, if you're sitting back and waiting for a guy to come and talk to you, they are grabbed by those women who are going and getting people.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And that's you have husbands who will walk up and in one of the seminars, I said, listen, I am not afraid. If my wife sees a guy she likes, I will walk across the room. She'll wait where she's at, because here's the thing. I don't like putting guys on the spot, because I've been there, and I've had a few husbands who were like every, 5 times a day, hey, you want to fuck my wife? You want to fuck my wife? And it's like, I'm trying to be polite, because no, I don't want to fuck your wife, but so I'm not going to put a guy on the spot, but I will go say, hey, just to let you know, that's my wife over there. She finds you attractive. If you're interested, feel free to walk up to us or her and speak to her. And now I've opened the door.
Craig told me no the first time.
Yeah,
He gently rejected me.
Craig, see how you are?
No, that's a lie. That's a story. I think it kind of.
He said that's a story.
Like that. That's a story. She's fibbing. I think it kind of. I wouldn't say caught me by surprise, but it kind of took a little bit of a groove, 2 parties or 3 parties to say, wow, I guess she is interested. I never try to be assumptive with who is interested in me or not. And they weren't it wasn't like she was falling all over me, like, oh, Craig, I want you, they were subtle hints. And I just didn't pick up on them. I never
we
told
all
this
can't be dark chocolate, right, Craig?
Right? I can't be sexy chocolate.
Did you let Dark Chocolate on?
Where's Dark Chocolate? Is he
Somebody
in?
said we all can't be Dark Chocolate.
He said Dark Chocolate.
Oh, I thought he said Dark Chocolate.
Is Dark Chocolate in the house? I thought I might have saw him down there.
Yeah, he's here. He's listening.
Doc, what's up? You can get in here and talk shit with us. But, yeah, Craig, I definitely I feel you on that, because and it's Mocha. It is Mocha 100%. There are very few events that really encourage where it's the ladies, the couples have so much freedom, and they're encouraged to, if you see a guy you like, don't be afraid to talk to him, because the guys are respectful and receptive, so, if you're sitting in the corner and, I'm like Pedro, so I will go and pick out the ones who are in the corner if I find them attractive. If I find her attractive, I'm going to go over and say something. But you're right. Like, this lady sitting in the corner looking at 4 guys that she likes, and she's waiting for him to come and say something. Hey, I mean, there are too many options. For the time I walk from one side of the ballroom to you, there are 3 or 4 women who's approaching that guy, and they're receptive, they're open, they're smiling.
So unfortunately, even if he was about to beeline over there, you know, who's to say that somebody didn't step in there and say, hey, you know, I like you. My wife likes you. Do you like her? You look over and it's like, absolutely. You know, so, you know, don't
I
speak
wonder,
up.
let me ask. Let me ask you this. How much of that do you think is because of the normalcy of going to house parties and a regular club where the single man is the pursuer? You know, he always is, hey, walking up to everybody, because Splash is completely different. And you spoke about this a little bit, where Splash is completely I've said it is the biggest DTF party I have ever gone to, where, I mean, I've been in the hallway and I've had someone walk up to me and say, hey, you want to fuck? This past party, I was in the reverse glory hole room, and two women looked at me and said, go behind the screen. So I went behind the screen and they both blew me off, you know. So, but when you go to a regular club or a regular party, you don't have that. You have the men who are always pursuing the couples. And so how much do you think is that because they're used to going to those types of places?
That's a great point, Craig.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that's a good point.
I missed it all. I was stuck for a second.
Yeah. So basically what he was asking is, like, the people who kind of sit in the corner, is it just because they're so accustomed to going to regular clubs or even regular lifestyle parties?
I mean, I did that at my very first Mocha, and you got all irritated with me because that's what I thought you were supposed to do. I thought that was the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely agree with that, because you know how assertive Mrs. Mocha is. In our first Splash, I was fucking irritated. You know, she's, you know, talking about, hey, we can never find a party where I can find what I want. We can never find a party where I can find the type of guys I want, blah, blah, blah. We walk into this place and there's everything. She's in fucking Wonderland swimming in the sea of dick. And she's like, well, I don't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do.
Go talk to somebody. You know, well, so I had to take her to the room and, you know, Daddy had to give her a little discipline. You know what I'm saying? Once she got disciplined, man, she went down.
It was actually motivation. It wasn't discipline. It was motivation.
That's what we call motivation around my house.
I have to do the same thing to my wife.
Sometimes we all need it.
Yeah.
I think if I could label myself as anything, it would be a bratty slut.
Yeah.
I'm very, like, that is what I would be, a bratty slut.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely, you know, she likes to
push buttons.
Yeah, she likes to push buttons so she can get a spanking, but, you know.
I mean, I don't push too hard. I push just enough that I know that you're going to be like the time that I threw your dick into your leg. That time. Yeah, that time.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't give me any dick, and I was mad about it. So the only way I could wake you up was to slap your dick into your leg.
For those who don't understand this, let's get it straight. Number 1, it was my birthday. All right. Number 2, I drank my body weight in liquor.
And Mr. Mocha is
Number
a
3,
lightweight.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
And number 3, we go to a party, and my wife is like recruiting chicks. Like, as soon as one woman gets off my dick, like, my wife had this basket of towels. All right. So she'd take, like, one woman would get off my dick. I start fucking her. My wife would take a wet towel, wipe my dick and my balls off, open the condoms, put another condom on, and tell her. And so she was like a pit crew. Like, she's fucking amazing.
Trying to have your back.
So, like, I fucked 7 women while she was being my pit crew. Like, she was perfect. Just
so in what
perfect
world?
for a while. And hold on.
In what world would I not want any dick after that?
And I gave her dick after that.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not.
So see how the story changes.
Shit.
She's like, oh, you only gave me 10 minutes of dick. Okay. She had to drive home. I get home, and it was a wonderful birthday. My wife, you know, she was on, like, superhero mode. I just wanted to go to sleep. That was it. And she's trying to get some dick, and I'm like, hey, it's over. Okay. I have come all I have. I need at least 3 days to recharge. So she's playing on my dick, and I'm trying to go to sleep, but she keep making my dick hard. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to sleep. So she's down there playing with it. It's rising and falling and rising and falls. And so I finally, like, get to sleep. and she takes my dick and slaps it against my thighs. Fuck it, I'm going to bed.
No, I did not say fuck it. I said, I guess we're going to fucking sleep.
After slapping my dick again, throwing my dick down like it was like a piece of trash, and to slap my thigh, I'm like, the fuck are you talking to?
But did you die?
So then I woke up and fucked the shit out of her, and then realized at the end of it
that the game was over.
Yeah, she took advantage of it. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta
playing the long game.
Yeah.
She's playing the long game.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta play a scary game.
Yeah.
So you can win in the end.
She's definitely a winner on that one. But I'll say overall, I think that, there's so many amazing conversations that I had at Splash talking to couples, and there was with everything, there's the good, the bad, the ugly, and when I say good, bad, and the ugly, it's not like there was never anything terrible, but it was just sometimes like with the guys, there were the unrealistic expectations, where I told multiple guys like, hey, you are not entitled to pussy. Okay. You see a woman just because you want to fuck her doesn't mean she wants to fuck you, mm-hmm. And, also like there were, I had 3 guys who I was talking to about, just simple communication skills. How do you approach the couple? How do you interact with them? When do you walk the fuck away? Like, you can't hold somebody hostage. People are going to be nice. If you've been talking to somebody for an hour and she has shown zero sexual interest, one of the guys like, oh, I don't really talk about sex. Well, you're at a sex convention. So if you've been talking to her for an hour and she hasn't started talking about sex, she hasn't touched your arm, the husband is still standing there, looking like he's ready to take a nap because, most of these husbands are going to be excited and engaged. It's like, if you don't see that, they're just being polite. Beat it, kick rocks. They're not for you,
And that's definitely one of those experience things that you were talking about earlier. I mean, you have to be able to read people's cues, and a lot of newer guys can't do that. And that's where they need to talk to the more experienced guys that are there, and kind of lean on them to get that experience, or else they're just going to keep tripping over their own dick every time they talk to a couple.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool to see, though.
I mean, that ain't never going to happen for me, but I mean, I'm saying some of the guys that I see, it can happen.
Did you fall on your dick just now? Because that was the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Mrs. Mocha might give him some pussy just for
that. Probably not.
He tripped over his dick. Let me touch it. No, yeah, but you're right, man. That was a big conversation. And then I will say I had one really interesting conversation with 2 ladies. I talked to 2 ladies, and like one of the ladies,
I approved somebody to come on.
Okay, well, let them in.
I did.
I spoke to, like, 2 ladies came to me, and, one of the ladies said, hey, I've seen you at all the Mochas. I think you're really attractive. I just want to let you know that if you ever want to play with me, I'll be really interested. Don't answer that question now, but if you're interested, just come and find me. Now, here's the thing. Fact of the matter is I wasn't interested. Let's just be honest. I wasn't even remotely interested. But she didn't pressure me. She didn't make me feel obligated. She didn't try to make me feel like a scumbag for saying no. And like, I appreciated that. Like, I really did appreciate the way her and her friend approached me, because that is really a thing where even as a guy, it's uncomfortable if somebody comes up to you and like kind of makes you feel bad because you won't have sex with them. Because I've definitely had, somebody, just kind of make me feel like, oh, well, why don't you want to play with me? And it's not even necessarily a person I'm not physically attracted. I've had people who I'm physically attracted to and just didn't have time to kind of say that. And it just kind of made it weird. Like, okay, like you're not obligated
That's
to the dick.
actually, but like that's actually my favorite approach when I talk to couples or women.
To corner them and
I'll
make
talk
them
to them.
uncomfortable?
No, to do what these women did. You know, I'll talk to them for 10 or 15 minutes. And then, you know, if I'm interested, I will express my interest and just let them know, you know, that they don't have to go play right now. But if they would like to, then feel free to find me later. You know, so that way there's no pressure right then and there. And if they need to go talk about it or whatever, they can do that. And if they come find me, awesome. If not, then it spares them from having to say, sorry, we're not interested.
That to me that's the way. And I literally do the exact same thing. You know I'm interested. I've said enough words so that you know I know how to put them together. You know, you've had a chance to actually look at me, see if I'm what you like physically. You can see if I'm what you like, you know, intellectually. And I'm going to step away. And then now later on, if I see you and you stop me, you approach me, you put your hand on me, you reach for a hug, now I know that you're interested. So yes, dude, you're on every podcast now. Who joined us, baby?
Mr. and Mrs. Nola.
Welcome.
Is what it said. Hi, guys.
Good evening. It's just Mr. Nola. Mrs. Nola's already turned it in for the night, but I'm listening because we've been to many events, and you know, what you guys are saying is so spot on, right? I mean, guys will come up to us and they're just chit-chatting away, and if Miss Nola is interested, she's going to let them know within the first, you know, 2 or 3 minutes of the conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's just interesting listening to the dynamic because there's a fine line either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
On who's interested and who's not.
Yeah, 100%.
There definitely is. And for me personally, it's a little bit harder in that space, you know, in the single guy, solo playing guy space. Especially when you go to events that there's a lot of women looking for black men. So I can usually tell within the first, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, like you said, Mr. Nola, if there's any interest or not. So,
yeah. And look, we've been to events where it comes down to a ratio sometimes too, right? Women to, you know, gentlemen versus gentlemen to women. Most of the events we've been to, it's been, you know, I guess more men than women. And so that works to her advantage. You know, there's, you know, competition, whatever you want to call it, but opportunity. Let's call it opportunity, not competition.
I mean, there is a bit of competition, you know, between single men. I wouldn't say it's like a toxic type thing, but
no, not toxic. No,
but there is a bit of competition because we're all there for the same reasons. But the experienced guys are going to help each other, you know, where the inexperienced guys are going to kind of take that, the approach of, well, I have to get to as many women as I can before everybody else does. Mm-hmm. You know, instead of working together so that everyone can have a good time.
Scarlett, did you have something to say?
Yeah. It's just on the point about when someone expresses interest in playing and you're not interested, right? Obviously, there are more graceful ways to do that. And it sounds like those two ladies really, just like you said, they made the interaction really comfortable and respectful, because at the end of the day, here's the thing. We're all a lifestyle community, and maybe I'm not interested in playing with you, but you're still my tribe. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm still going to see you in the hallways. We're still going to interact. Yep. And so One of the things that when, in our women's group that we talk about is when a gentleman approaches you and, if he's respectful to you and if he's, making the interaction comfortable, like, understand you don't have to play with him, but like, he's still your tribe. Don't be like, I don't want to play with him, girl. What is the point of imposing that negativity? Like, we're not all going to be for everyone.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, we are all a community and we are all living an alternative lifestyle. And that's fucking hard enough in this world. Let's just give each other that respect. That's just what I wanted to share.
And it's crazy that you even say that, Scarlett, because Mr. Mocha and I kind of had like that conversation. He was just like, just because I'm not going to fuck everyone, I still like everyone. I still want to interact with everybody. Like, but some people make that weird even afterwards because we talked about it, not to spoiler alert, but we talked about it in Dirty Girls Corner, but some people don't know how to deal with rejection. And that's like, it is hard for sure for some people, but just deal with it and move on, especially at fucking Splash Mocha. There are so many choices there that just because you want the one dick, but you're swimming in a sea of dicks. Get it together. Swim in those sea of dicks and find a different one,
Yeah. And what's really cool is there was a guy at Mocha who, for some reason, and I don't know why, he was like, well, you don't get rejected. I'm like, why the fuck don't I get rejected? Like, I wish you would tell the people who've rejected me that I don't get rejected. We all get rejected, especially men. Okay. Every man has been rejected. I mean, it's standard issue. It's really how you deal with it. Be a gentleman about it. And, I was telling Mrs. Mocha, there was actually a lady at Splash that I've seen multiple times. I've spoken to her multiple times. She's been very friendly, very kind, but I never got the vibe that she was interested. And this guy was saying, we had that conversation, and it just so happened that she walked past. So I was like, just wait here for a second. I walked over, I talked to her, was being real polite. And I asked her, I said, I would be very interested in playing with you if you'd be interested. And she gave me a very polite rejection. Very polite. She made up an excuse as to, I'm a little tired, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no worries. I appreciate it. I just wanted to let you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I went back over to him and I said, here's the thing. I definitely expected to be rejected because we've seen each other, 5 or 6 times. But I explained to him, it's like, dude, it happens to all of us. I mean, the difference is I'm usually pretty intuitive to know who's not interested in me.
Read the room. Somebody actually had a shirt on at one of the Mochas that said read the room. Hold on. Craig had something to say. Craig, what were you going to say?
Well, going back to like what Pedro and then you kind of touched on a little bit about the competitiveness. I've been going to Splash for years, since the first year it was in Fort Lauderdale. I've never felt competitive with another guy there. I'm like, because, and like you said, Mrs. Mocha, because there's so many women and so many men and such a variety, there's times when we were in Florida, you're walking, somebody says, hey, I'm going up, there's this girl, she wants 5, 6, 7 guys, and you'll grab guys on the way, and it's not like, oh, I don't like him, or it's just, hey, she wants guys, come on, man, come on, I don't know you, but come on. Mm-hmm. I've never felt a competitiveness with anybody at Splash because of how many people there is. Plus, I think the other thing that changes it too is because it's a 3 and now 4 and 5 day event to some people, there's no need to be competitive because if I don't see you now, I may, and I have to stress, may see you within the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, usually too, like, there's always another event. I mean, because a lot of, like, this event for me this time, not to like change subject, but this event for me this time was just like going to see everybody's faces because I haven't seen everyone in so long. But, if I don't fuck you at this event, there may be another one, and you don't even know. Like, I found out more people live in our area that I didn't even know at that event. And one guy, I think I said it, he was super honest and I loved it. It wasn't really rejection. It was just more like, hey, we live in the same town. Like, why don't we just connect when we get there instead of trying to connect at Splash Mocha? And I'm like, fucking great. That's fucking awesome. That's perfect for me. You know, instead of us trying to play together and we live in the same town. Sorry, Mr. Nola, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just speaking to that. One of our first experiences in the lifestyle was at Naughty in New Orleans, and they had a Mocha room, and we met a guy, and he and Miss Nola had a fun time, and like 10 years later, we met the guy again at a small hotel takeover here in New Orleans, catering to, black gentlemen. And it was just awesome catching up with him again and, reminiscing. So the opportunity presents itself over and over again in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'd like to say thank you, Craig, for pointing out that you don't feel that way at Mocha events. I have never been to a Mocha event. I was just speaking on the events and the clubs and stuff that I've been to. So,
and that's true.
There has been a lot of competitiveness, but it's usually a friendly type of competitiveness until those new guys show up and, they are being greedy, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm. And I'm, because you've never been to Mocha, and Mrs. Mocha and I, we've done a lot as far as parties and things like that. We've, in the past, we've done promotions for other parties, things like that. And from that standpoint, you're absolutely correct. Parties, clubs, everything. There tends to be a very competitive nature. But that's one of the things about Mocha that's very different. Like the guys are cheering each other on. The guys are like, "Hey, dude, I'm low. I fucked myself into oblivion."
That's literally what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You can't make it a marathon.
Yeah.
Like the first day, the guys go in and just fuck. By day 2, they're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked out.
And not literally. It's, my dick's done. I can't do anything. And they're disappointed. So even though they're a newbie, they've learned pretty fast.
So, listen, guys, we're going to get ready to wrap it up. Before we do, I have to just say, man, I really appreciate everybody that's got on. Pedro, it's very, very good meeting you. We'll definitely have you on more. Craig, as always, I sent him a message. I sent Craig a nasty gram earlier today, so he only got on because I guilted him on. I just want y'all to know that.
And Doc, thanks for jumping on, even though you didn't say shit.
Did Doc actually jump on? He didn't say nothing.
He's on, but he must be busy.
He's been here almost the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc, we gonna have words, Doc.
That's
you too
okay.
cool to hang out with us. That's all right.
Yes.
We love you though, Doc. We actually met Doc for the first time, and
Mocha.
yeah, he had me cracking up. Doc is a cool cat, so that was nice.
Don't say cat. That's literally going to tell your age. He was a cool guy.
Listen, I'm an old dude. I don't mind saying that. I embrace my old age, okay? I don't give a shit. I'm an old man.
Let's not tell people. You just said cool. You could say cool guy. Like, there's so many things you could say.
You see the shit? I mean, I can't even wear clothes without my wife being like, you looking a little senior citizen.
And Milfy, thank you for jumping on. I see you. And Angel, thank you. And Blushing Vixen.
Oh, hey.
And Karina. Hey, Karina. I said hi to Milfy.
Oh, there we go.
I'm so dead.
We got a lot of people on. Dante, what's going on? And
In Tampa couple, we did see your comment about the Splash Mocha, that it was your first one and it was a great event. So Houston is a good first one.
Yes.
Because people think in Houston. And Mr. Nola, thank you for jumping on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, we're looking forward to our first Splash Mocha. We wanted to make it to this one. It is just the logistics didn't work out, but you'll be seeing us soon.
Awesome. Wait, now Doc Chocolate wants to say something. We should.
Doc, you would try to jump on when we trying to close stuff out. See, that's how I guilt my friends into doing shit. I just want to let y'all know I'm not above making you feel bad.
He literally just got off. Your phone's not working or something, Doc. That's okay.
But in that case, once again, thank you guys. Scarlett, thank you. Always love your input. Scarlett is one. Scarlett, we've got to get you on for a one-on-one podcast. Well, excuse me, 2-on-1 podcast. I said
Oh
that
no,
wrong.
you and her can do one together.
You see how my wife is always
I
trying
know
to get
that
out doing shit
what
with
you're
me?
trying to do. You're trying to have a challenge. She's a good challenge.
Yeah, I mean, well, Scarlett is the perfect unicorn. I told Scarlett, like, you are so awesome. You can't put everybody on your level, even though you want to, because you're
But
such
she's
a sweet
a very
person.
inclusive person.
She is, and that's why we love Scarlett.
Yes, she's very. That's how you're supposed to be inclusive to everyone. That's how events and things happen. You don't be cliquish. That's super dumb.
I didn't say be cliquish.
No,
That's
I know
not what
that. I said you. I didn't say you. I said it's not good to be cliquish.
No, yeah.
I think that deters a lot of people from even like going to new clubs or parties and stuff like that. So, anyways, that's a whole nother day, whole nother
That's
subject.
a whole nother story. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We had a really good time. Mrs. Mocha is finally feeling better, so you guys are going to see us here a lot more. Be sure to follow us. Remember, if you want to listen to other episodes, you can find the Old Faces podcast wherever you get your podcast at, including this one. And then also shoot us a message, and we'll be sure to follow you back and let you know when we're going to be doing the next podcast.
And so that Mr. Mocha doesn't dominate the podcast, because he always does that.
Dominate shit.
At the end, I was going to say that if anyone is interested in going to Mocha, we actually have some like codes that you guys can scan that we can share via DMs. We don't want to put them on our actual like Twitter, because you have to be vetted and somebody has to know you and blah 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 blah. So if you're interested in going to any of those, we don't usually like sell things on here, but we will send you a little code.
There's a reason Mocha's not filled with weirdos, because they actually take the time to make sure that they talk to the people who are coming.
You always have to have the last word, huh?
That's what I
Turn
do.
the music on.
You see how I got treated just now?
All right. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Mr. Nola. Thank you, Pedro, for jumping on. Thank you, Craig and Scarlett. Goodbye.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys. Have a great night, and we will see you next week.
Bye.